everyone, I am finally back. My crazy busy month is over with and I am exhausted. I am so tired, and because of all the stress and everything that's been going on, I'm actually having a major fibro flare today. I took to a leave this morning and it really didn't help very much at all. So I am going to make myself a simple dinner, something that's going to be full of flavor, but it's going to be really easy and quick that I can have for leftovers tomorrow. All I've been doing the last couple of weeks is baking off a bunch of chicken thighs and chicken legs and, just eating off of those throughout the week, and I'm kind of over chicken legs and chicken thighs. So tonight what I'm going to do is another simple meal that I normally make just a small portion of. I usually just make one portion, but tonight I'm going to make a big portion of it. And it's just really simply just ground beef and green beans and spices. It's nothing really exciting or fun, but it's just simple, quick, and cheap. So let me go ahead and point you down so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so here is my bigger size cast iron skillet, and I needed to season it a little bit more, so I thought this would be a good idea for tonight as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to start warming up my skillet, and this is 1 pound of ground beef. Now, I got this ground beef on sale about a month ago, I think. And what I did is I just cut it up into 1 pound packages and put it in my freezer. I made sure to use a freezer bag. You can tell this is a freezer bag because it actually has a label on it where you can write the contents and the date. I didn't because, ground beef is pretty easy to figure out, and because I knew I was going to use it pretty quickly. We use a lot of ground beef, not a lot of ground beef, but we do use ground beef weekly. So I know that this is something that even though I buy it and I freeze it, it's going to be used up pretty quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just breaking everything up, and really at this point, your spices are going to be your choices. Tonight, my choice is going to be fennel. I love fennel. Fennel gives it that Italian flavor. And so I always try to use fennel with ground beef because it reminds me of childhood. And of course, I'm always going to add a little bit of salt. So I'm actually gonna do about a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to shake it in. And we want it to cook with the ground beef because then it'll season the ground beef better, but also it'll season, because we're not going to drain this very much. We may drain it a little bit, depending, but you'll see how I do this. And so we're just going to go ahead and let it start cooking off, and it should start browning up pretty quickly. So like I said, it has been a crazy busy couple of weeks, really stressful. I actually had 2 days off from work this week, and both days I was just running. And I'm trying a few different things in my diet, and I don't know if how I'm feeling is a reaction to what I'm doing. One of the things that I did is I've started adding 1 probiotic capsule a day. And I know that probiotics are supposed to help your gut and heal allergies and food allergies and stuff like that. So that was one reason that I really wanted to try and use a probiotic. I don't know if I'm feeling this way because I'm having an allergic reaction because the probiotics are actually doing their job, or if it's because I'm allergic to them or what. But I'm going to try to continue using them and see what happens. And then the other thing is that the chicken that I made for the last couple of days, I used Chinese 5-spice, which is it's a mixture of spices that you can get, and it's really good. And it's a little sweet, but a little curry kind of flavor to it. And I used to like to use it in other things, so I thought I'd try it, and I just sprinkled it on top of chicken thighs. And I had those chicken thighs for dinner Tuesday night, and lunch for Wednesday. Because I actually spent the night at my parents' house because I had training and I didn't want to drive through rush hour traffic, and so it was much nicer to go from their house 15 minutes away than through Nashville traffic and spend an hour and a half. So that's what I did that day, and I don't know if how I'm feeling is a reaction to that Chinese 5-spice, because that's the only thing that was different in my diet for the last couple of days, or if it's just stress and maybe I'm getting a cold, also a little PMS probably, and so I'm just kind of not feeling good, and I just really don't want to do much of anything. So on those days, I always try to make something simple, and this is it. As you can see, the ground beef is already browned, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it cook a little bit longer, because not only does ground beef have grease in it, or fat in it, but it also has a little bit of water. And you can tell because if you look at the liquid, it's a little white, a little yellow or something. So I'm just going to let it cook for just another minute or two and let it really cook out all of that water. And as you can hear, it's getting really loud. It's starting to smell really good. All right, and then I am going to turn my burner down, because we all know that cast iron holds its temperature, so now I can turn it down. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some green beans. Now you guys know that these are my favorite green beans. These are the extra fine green beans from Aldi. These are about $1.50, $2 a bag, and this has 5 servings in it. So I'm not going to use quite the whole bag, because on a pound of bacon we're going to expect to make about 4 servings out of it. And so I'm going to use almost the whole bag. Now if you can see, I don't know if you can see, but the grease in the bottom of the pan has now turned much more clear, and that tells me that the oil has cooked, or the water has cooked out. And so the next thing to do is just to go ahead, and I will tell you, these are frozen. I don't know if you can see the ice that's still on them, but they're still frozen. Okay, like I said, this is a simple, quick recipe, and there's nothing really special about it or anything. These spices can be anything you want. In fact, I was going to use ginger, and I decided with the fennel that probably that wouldn't be the best. So I opted not to. I could add oregano, basil, thyme. I could easily add parsley and, you know, anything like marjoram, anything like that, to this Italian flavor. Now, if I wanted to, I could do ginger in Chinese 5-spice, or I could do curry and salt would be really good with this ground beef and green beans. So this is whatever flavors you like. You need to do this and make this your own. And as you can see, I'm just continuing to stir it, almost like a stir fry. And pretty soon you will see that these are starting to really cook. And you'll see me every now and again pull one out like that, and all I do is I just snap off the stem. I don't like eating stems. I don't think I know anybody who likes eating stems, but there you go. So smelling this, tasting it, not quite gotten enough salt in it. You know me, and I love my salt. So I'm going to add a little bit more. And in fact, I think I'm actually going to add some oregano as well, just because you know how much I love oregano. So I'm going to do that as well. Another thing that you could do is use, if you make your own Italian dressing, you could dump that in here. As you can tell, when we added the green beans, that it really took up the fat that was in the bottom of the pan. So if you need a little extra fat, you could do Italian dressing in here. I don't know if ranch dressing or blue cheese would work very well with this recipe, just because they are a dairy derivative. But if you want to try it and let me know, or maybe even just the dry ranch dressing seasonings, if you make your own, that would be really good in this as well. So as you can see, I actually turned up the heat a little bit more. It just didn't feel like it was cooking as quick anymore, and I'm looking for a quick cook. So we're just going to continue to stir it. And actually, I'm one of those that I like to let them get a little bit brown. A little caramelization on both the meat and the green beans is I like that flavor. The one that I just took, I was just checking to see its doneness. Now, I live in Tennessee, y'all. You know that. But I'm originally from Illinois and Michigan, and by default, Wisconsin. So, I like my vegetables crisp. When we moved down here, we figured out that Tennesseans like to cook their vegetables to death, and then they cook them a little bit longer. And I am just not into mushy vegetables. So, I like my frozen green beans. And the first time I used frozen green beans on my new husband, he looked at me and he said, "What's wrong with those green beans? They are too green. That is just unnatural." And I just laughed because, you know, the gray green that you get out of canned vegetables is much less full of nutrients than these beautiful green beans. And over the years, he's learned how to like his vegetables with a little crisp to them. And these are really good and hot now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it off the heat and put it in bowls. Now, some ways that you can finish this. You don't have to, but you can. As you can tell, this is a completely dairy-free recipe. I didn't even put butter in this. So if you need a dairy-free recipe, this is a quick, easy go-to recipe. Another thing that you can do is you can add shredded cheddar to this. You can add shredded Parmesan to this, or grated Parmesan, whatever you want to do. You could even add sour cream. You could add hollandaise sauce to this. You could add cream cheese to this. I mean, there's so many different things you can do, but this is a really good simple base. If you're tired, if you're not really feeling good and you just want something yummy, this is going to do it for you. I'm really excited to sit down and eat, and I hope you guys have a great night. I just wanted to let you know that I'm looking at the counter at the top of my screen, and this took me actually 14 and a half minutes to do. Actually less than 14 minutes because I've been talking for a few minutes, or a few seconds. So, I know you've seen me and my pictures before of this recipe on my Facebook page and my Instagram. Well, now you know how I make it. So I hope you like this recipe. I hope that when you're not feeling great that you try it. And I hope you have a great night. Have a great rest of the week. Happy Friday Eve. And I'll see you later.